In this country, babies are fitted for helmets and posed with safety pads and other sports and paraphernalia before they can even sit up or hold their head up independently. Dr. Bennett Omalu, a Nigerian-born pathologist, that sounded the alarm about the long-term dangers that American football poses on the brain. And in 2002, Dr. Omalu published a paper on former Pittsburgh Steeler Mike Webster, which brought chronic traumatic encephalopathy to public attention and called for more intensive research to be done. However, Dr. Omalu's research was initially ignored by the NFL. The 2015 film Concussion, starring Will Smith, documents the battle between Dr. Bennett Omalu and the NFL, and the overall battle to bring CTE to the forefront.
Repetitive head trauma chokes the brain.
These are the words of Will Smith in his role as Dr. Bennett Omalu. In the words of Will Smith in the movie, Dr. Omalu turned the lights on and gave the biggest boogeyman a name. The NFL and doctors affiliated with the NFL worked hard to disprove Dr. Omalu's findings. But after public scrutiny, the billion-dollar industry was all but forced to acknowledge Dr. Omalu's work. The mountain of evidence given by the scientific experts helped in adding pressure to the NFL. Omalu's studies of player Mike Webster's brain showed that Webster had taken over 70,000 impacts to the head. This study was done in 2002 following the death of Mike Webster. The battle between Dr. Omalu versus the NFL was semi-resolved after the NFL publicly published its concussion protocol, which addresses head injuries and how they phase players back into game day play. That battle had ended. However, the war between the families of former players and the NFL was only getting started. In 2012, more than 4,500 players, spouses, and representatives filed the NFL concussion lawsuit. Players and families of former players sued for compensation for the neurological deterioration and recognition that it came as a direct result of playing NFL football. The lawsuit formally alleged that the NFL knew about the long-term health risks associated with concussions and repeated blows to the head. Specifically, the suit alleged that from 1950s forward, the NFL fraudulently concealed and continuously denied the dangers of repetitive head impacts that were widely published at the time in scientific and medical literature. Meaning they kept downplaying it even though the evidence and public information about the concussions was there at their hands if they actually wanted to go get it. It also alleged that the NFL deliberately ignored and actively concealed this information in order to protect the economic value of the game. In the lawsuit filed, they claimed players suffered symptoms like headaches, blurred vision, memory loss, insomnia, dementia, mood swings, and amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as ALS. It was reported that Dave Durison shot himself in the chest instead of his head because he wanted to die without damaging his brain. The NFL's concussion protocol was developed by the Head, Neck, and Spine Committee in 2011. The concussion protocol was originally adopted in 2009 in response to the extremely high numbers of traumatic brain injury among active and retired football players. It has been updated several times since.